Who here remembers Halo Infinite's early days when it felt like an alpha tech demo? I'm sure a lot of you do. But after almost 4 years of updates and patches and Halo Studios molding the game and transforming it into an actual full-fledged Halo experience, we're going to talk about if Halo Infinite is something you should give your time to in 2025. This is not a video about launch Halo Infinite, this is about now. And Halo Infinite now is chock full of features, fixes, community goodness that both veterans and new players will really enjoy. So let's dive into why you should give it another shot or give it your first shot. This video took a little bit of time to research and write the script for, so if you enjoy it, make sure you leave a like. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I could be your third favorite Halo YouTuber out there, out of like 3. So let's hop into the video. First, we're going to talk about key improvements since launch, and this is both in multiplayer and in campaign. So campaign and co-op. Co-op is finally here. That came in winter of 2022, I believe. So you can actually play with friends, and it also added a mission replay option, so you can replay any level without having to restart the whole game. And it also came with new achievements. Halo Studios said that we heard you, and now you can finally squad up with a friend on every mission. And that was something that was highly requested, and we were promised before launch, so you can check that off. Going into multiplayer, the amount of maps and modes that have been added since launch, both dev and community created, is actually insane. I'm not sure how many Forge maps have been incorporated into this game, but it's over 50 easily. And these maps include brand new creations as well as old maps from like Halo 3, Halo 4, and Halo 5. A classic playlist called Delta Arena was actually added as well, where it had community-made Halo 2 maps. Sprint and clamber were turned off, and jumping is actually way higher. It's basically Halo 2 nostalgia on meth. Can I say that? I actually don't know if I can say meth on YouTube. They've also added new game modes like Assault from Halo 2. I know people are going to be like, that's not a new game mode, that was already in Halo. I'm talking about in Halo Infinite, a new game mode in Halo Infinite, just to clear that up because people yell at me all the time about it. We've gotten Firefight, new variants of Firefight. In fact, we're getting Battle of the Academy, which is a linear firefight mode. We just got the Mutilator, and there's a new Mutilator Madness Juggernaut mode that's coming with that. We constantly get new ranked updates where maps are added and changed, and the weapons and upgrades on the maps are changed. Community-made maps like Fortress have been added to the mix, so they keep that fresh. And also, we've been talking about Forge a ton, but Forge was obviously added in 2022, and it's probably the best Forge mode we've ever seen. With Forge came the content browser, so you can actually go on Halo Waypoint's content browser, you can search for something, bookmark it, and then load it right in the game. Let's talk about quality of life and UI, and with that, we're going to talk about customization and cosmetics. Now first, all players have access to every core and cadet coding for free. You know, before the Yoroi core and the Eagle Strike core, you know, you had to buy them, so if you didn't, you missed out, but that's unlocked for everybody. But that's not to say that the cosmetics and the store have not caused a lot of headaches for a lot of people. In fact, that's probably one of the things that I see complained about the most is the store, the prices, the amount of content that's in there. I understand why people are upset about that. Really, the only, I guess, argument or comeback that I have is that this is a free-to-play game. You did not pay, you know, $60 for the multiplayer. The amount of content and, like, armor that's in this game does not equal $60 either. If you don't like something, you don't have to buy it. You don't need to collect everything if you're not going to use it. Like, I don't buy everything that's in the store just because, like, I might think it's ugly or I just don't need it. So that's my only advice to you. If you do like something, maybe skip a day at Starbucks or, you know, miss out on Taco Bell and buy an armor instead. I don't know. Moving on, there is a custom game browser as well that lets you hop into custom games. And this is where you can actually do like the race modes and stuff like that. I will say that it really is sparsely populated. I feel like a lot of people don't use it as much as they should. It's something that I thought would really pop off. but maybe that's because the population had already dwindled so much. Going along with the quality of life stuff, the network and just input has been changed. If you remember, desync was a huge problem with, phantom shots and, hitting people around walls and things like that. They updated the networking. Desync is pretty much gone, in my opinion, and I haven't heard a lot of people complain about it. Blank shots, mostly gone. Here and there, I definitely think that I still get a little bit of a ghost bullet action, and meleeing people, especially back smacking them, seems a little broken still. Definitely not perfect, but I think that it was better than what it was. On PC, mouse and keyboard accidentally got aim assist, kind of, and they just kept it on, so yeah. As for balance and weapons and things like that, we've gotten a couple of new weapons, things like the Bandit and the MA5K. I can understand if you don't really think they're brand new. But the Mutilator is also coming out, and that is a completely brand new weapon to the Halo franchise, and that's pretty cool. But even recently, the Assault Rifle got a nerf/buff nerf. The Heat Wave has been adjusted. The Shock Rifle's aim assist was adjusted. I feel like the Disruptor gets touched like every update. So I definitely think that the studio is listening to players' feedback, and they're doing as much as they can. Now, I don't know how many people are working on Halo Infinite, but we've been, told that it's like a skeleton crew and stuff like that. But it's just weird because I feel like the updates recently have gotten bigger and bigger, and we've gotten more and more content, so I'm not sure. But they've been pretty candid about the lessons that they've learned after having such a rocky launch. And really now, it feels like we've hit real seasonality with these monthly updates. Like, it finally feels like Halo Infinite has hit its stride and is in a really good place and actually feels like a full-fledged Halo experience. And that's why I'm making this video, because I think more people should just give it a shot. Now, I know some people, especially, if you've made it this far in the video, I get it. You want to know what's happening and stuff, but I feel like some people just maybe hate watch this video, and they're going to say, Holotide, it should have been in on day one, and that's fair. I can agree, but launching any game now just seems so difficult. And Halo Studios knows that they missed co-op and Forge by like a year. And I think if they could have made the decision themselves and it wasn't just up to Microsoft, I think they would have delayed the game another year. But instead, they launched the game and spent that first year trying to play catch-up. A lot of people were laid off or left the studio. But I think that hopefully the studio has learned its lessons, especially the leadership. And that's something else that has changed, is Halo Studios kind of looks completely different from a leadership standpoint. But in my opinion, the game is good. And for it to be free to play, I think the biggest mistake for a player would be not checking it out now. So like I said, Halo Infinite feels like an official Halo title. It's not a rush beta. It's got a ton of content. More is coming. It's loaded with community features, and just about everything that was missing has been added or fixed. Multiplayer is free. The campaign is on Game Pass, so there's really no barrier to entry. So I think it's a great time to jump in. I would say that Halo Infinite has become the comeback kid. And in a day and age where most games don't get a second chance, I think that Infinite deserves it. And in a day and age where games don't really get a second chance, I believe Halo Infinite deserves one. And if you watched my most recent video, if you didn't, you should definitely check it out. Halo on PlayStation, the big what if. We shall see. But that's going to do it for the video, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like down below. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and I will catch you all around the ring. Peace.